Hello and welcome back. As part of the SQL numeric functions demos and PostgreSQL, I'm going to focus on aggregate functions in this video and also talk about uh, what the aggregate functions are, their statistical and logical uh, meanings, and also show you how you can use SQL to perform aggregates or aggregate calculation in PostgreSQL. So stick to me. Let's start by talking about aggregate functions overall. An aggregate function, regardless of what tool or platform you're using it or applying it, is simply a type of calculation or aggregation-based calculation where you're getting in return you're getting one value. So in other words, when you perform an aggregate function, you're performing a calculation on multiple records, multiple values in a column, and then as a result, you're getting the result in one value, and that one value is called an aggregate value. So it goes to the entire record, and it performs a calculation on all of those values within that column and gives you one value aggregate. That's what it is. Simple. So in this video, I'm going to focus on explaining and performing SQL commands on these five commonly used and famous functions that also have aggregate nature to them. There are plenty of them out there, but I chose these five just as the opener for what you need to know as a fundamental of aggregate in SQL. And I'll run all of them one by one, and then I'll also explain to you how you can use them with group by and without group by. So let's get to it. To begin, I have a table. Um, create a table called functional practice or func practice, short for it, and I have 9 records here where I have the primary key ID for each record. I have the life expectancy average for each record. I have the country name for each record associated with the life expectancy rate, and the region. And the values here are just fabricated dummy values. Just I created randomly just um, use in this demonstration. So let's go ahead and perform an aggregate function without using the group by. So and the aggregate function without using group by, or without adding any complication of such as group by, or any conditional parameters to it, is pretty much like any other aggregate function that you would do using a calculator or even Excel, where most of programming languages, if you write the script, you just write average and you just enter the numbers that you want to, for example, get. For example, in this case, if you want to get the average of a vector, of a list of numbers, then you just pass your keyword average and you put the numbers side by side, and then you get as a result. In SQL, that's not how it works. We have to start with a select statement, and then we pass the function argument, which is average, and then once we do that, we need to now specify what's going to be our the column where we're going to perform the aggregate function on. In this case, the average on. So we're going to get the average of life expectancy, which is this column right here. And so we say live AVG, right? That's the name. And then we say we specify what table it should get it from, and then we put the table name. So this will, as a result, once you run this as a result, you will get one value result. As I said at the beginning of the video, aggregate function, perform calculation on multiple values or multiple records here, and returns a single value result for you. So and that will be your aggregate result. So let's go ahead and run this. And as a result, there you go. So the average of life expectancy for those hypothetical countries is 60.33 years. So that's the result we got. Now let's talk about how you can actually do a group by. So remember, the group by is very important. The concept of group by is to break down your aggregate, right? To break down your aggregate by categories. That's what it is doing. So instead of having 60.33 as a life expectancy average for the entire country, let's say you want to look at the life expectancy for each region. So that's where you're going to use the group by. So group by is the name that we use in SQL, but other tools and programming platforms have their own terminology for the concept of group by. Some technologies call them just pretty much aggregation, categorization or classification, or simply aggregate itself. So each calculation need to be aggregated by categories if there is need. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to classify our measurement, our calculation by a classification. We're going to group it by a category or by a class. So how do we do this? Let's go ahead and run our life expectancy average one more time, and maybe this time we're going to call this life expectancy rate, let's say, right? And then don't forget we need to since now we're grouping by a category, right? We need to specify what that category should be. So, which category would you like to specify it by? Well, the only other categorical value that we have, record column that we have is region. So we can categorize it by each region name. So we're going to use a region. So we say, bring me the region, and then bring me the average life expectancy. You don't have to put the alias if you don't want to. I just wanted to add that in there just for the sake of clarity. And then we say from functional practice table. And then uh, um, we're now going to add the group by clause here. We say group by, and then we specify it. Group by what? We say group by region. So now you're saying, give me two columns, okay? Give me a region column, and then give me the life expectancy average of the expectancy or life average, and then the average of the life average, right? So it's an average on the life. So if Afghanistan has 50 years old, the life expectancy is 50 years old, and the other country 63, 58, 50. These are all averages that were statistically collected hypothetically here because I just typed them in. But this will be an average on the average. So we group them by region. So we say, well, don't give me the entire world's average of life expectancy. Actually, give me by regions. I want to see what region has, what average. So let's go ahead and run it, and you're going to see, there you go, that we had four region, those 9 records, and now we have the life expectancy averages broken down by their categories of region. South America 60.50, Central Asia is 53.53. So this is a numerical value, so that's why you see the decimals are infinite here. So I did not specify that, so don't worry about it. I hope it doesn't confuse you. But South Asia is 64.6, and North America 61 years old. So that's how we do it. And as you can see, the alias that we assign here is now the name of the column here. So if we don't assign an alias, then you're going to get that same, the original column name that was assigned. So let's just average. So, but it's a good practice to put each time that you perform a calculation, especially aggregate function, you specify your new column name by a new alias. Otherwise, it's just going to give you the name of your function, or your aggregate function. Like in this case, it's going to just give you average, and that's not professional to just have average. Average of what? So if we put the alias like I just did now, you're going to run it, you're going to see life expectancy rates. It reads much, much better. Something else we can do is I'm just going to mention it just for one case here is having. So having is, while group by is for to add a layer of categorical breakdown for the categorical column. Having is more like adding a layer of conditionality to measure column, which is the number. So let's say if you want to say well, give me the categories. Let me give me the life expectancy rate for all the countries of the world by the categories of region, right? Well, then also you're going to add another layer of conditionality and say, well, also give me all of the averages, right? Give me all of the averages where people give me the breakdown of averages for the regions that are below, let's say, 60 years old. So you're interested in only countries or region where whose life expectancy average is 60. So let's go ahead and run this. And you're going to see you're going to get one country, and which is Central Asia. So Central Asia is the only country where the life expectancy is below 60 and it's 53. So just like group by, you can also use having clause to additionally to add additional layer of conditionality clause to your aggregate. And then let's just go back here and run this again to get all the list. And let's go to the count, the second one. So the count is the same thing. If you want to count, pretty much just like the name implies, it gives you the number of rows. It counts the number of rows for the specific table. So we have nine records here, nine counts of rows here. So if you say, if you use without using group by, we say give me the count of uh, let's say live average expectancy is going to give you nine counts. And even if you put give me the count of if you don't not specify the column name, is going to give you the count of everything, because it doesn't really matter how many columns you have. It just reads the rows to give you the count of rows for you. And we can also use the count here for a group by. Let's say you want to do just change everything to count, right? And let's just get rid of having average here, uh, and let's just now say give me the count of records and group them by region. And you're going to see that these are the count of records that we have. So we have 2 records for North America, 3 records for South Asia, 2 records for Central Asia, and 2 records for South America. So again, count is nothing but an aggregation of number of rows or records for your table. So let's go back and bring the table back so we can go to the next example, which is the maximum. Same thing, the maximum is the largest value in your specified column. So the maximum number here is 63 and the minimum is 50. So if we say give me the maximum of live average column, this column is going to give you 63. Oh, sorry, maybe it's not 60. I wasn't looking down, so it's 60, 63. There's actually 66, so it's 66 years of age. The highest number in our table is 66, associated with Pakistan. Let's go ahead and run it, and you're going to see 68 is actually the number. Oh, I didn't know there was 68 there as well. Let's see. Maybe my eyes are, yeah, so 66, oh, 68, India. Okay, so India is the one that has the highest. So, yep, so we can do that as well. And let's say if you want to do, if you want to group them by, same thing. You want to get the maximum of the region, sorry, of life expectancy, and then break them down by region. You're going to see that these are the maximum for each of the regional breakdowns. Same thing with minimum. Minimum is the opposite of the maximum, where you get the smallest value in your table. So same thing, if you put minimum, you're going to see the minimum number should here. Let me just run the table again. The minimum number should be actually Afghanistan, right? So let's just go back and put, yep, so we already have the minimum here. Let's go back and run the minimum. You're going to see 50 is the minimum. Now, if you were to if you want to see the minimum breakdown by the regional categorization, we're going to do the same thing. There you go. These are the minimum records for each of the regions. So the minimum, the smallest value for South America is 58. The smallest value for Central Asia is 50. The smallest value for South Asia is 60. Smaller North America is 59. So, and last one is the sum, the most common, the most a highly used function that we use on a daily basis is sum, which is the summation of numerical data. So same thing, if you want to get the sum of all of the life expectancy, let's go back here. Well, it doesn't really have any practical, meaningful implication here to get the sum of everyone's life expectancy here, but just for the sake of practice, let's go ahead and run the sum. You're going to see that all of the ages, the average ages of all of 9 countries is 543. And let's say if we wanted to do the breakdown by grouping by group by, we do the same thing, just change it sum to minimum to sum and run it again. And you're going to see these are the sum of life expectancy for each of the regional categories. Maybe life expectancy is not a good example to use for a sum function. Maybe something else such as uh, any other numerical data such as income or GDPs, in the economic context would be more meaningful. But again, the idea here is to show you uh, how to perform them in SQL. And lastly, remember that when you that this is not it. You can actually add additional clause, or you can change what to really show on the actual output by adding additional columns here, adding aliases, or even anything else that you want. And so the most commonly used aggregate function that I projected in this demo are the ones that are the one that you may probably use a lot in your daily data analysis professional activities, but this is not it. There are a whole lot of others that you can learn and practice. As always, if you got value out of this tutorial, please do not forget to like and subscribe my channel. As always, thank you so much and have a great day.